Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Carolina Panthers.
My name is Jerry with the very early accidental point to Steven there. I apologize. This is a faux pas of mine. Sorry about that.
What happened there?
I pointed at you when I hit the play button on the running Panther, so yeah, you were talking as the Panther was running, and
okay.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meow Mix, Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry again. We're live,
And,
Steven, so we can't re-record this.
That's exactly. We're just gonna. Should we do it a third time as well, or just go on from here?
Well, let's just move on.
Okay. We're here to talk Tampa Bay coming up this weekend, and we're gonna do a little our Christmas presents. Apologies for not getting this thing out prior to Christmas, but honestly, I was so busy with everything, I kind of slipped my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's Christmas, and for me, it was the first time that Evie has actually been into it, where knowing about Santa and stuff like that. So it was really fun for me. I'm hoping you had a good time.
It was great. Yep,
good.
Christmas was awesome, and kids, as always, get way too much, and but it's been lots of fun putting together Legos today and out riding our new bicycles and all kinds of stuff. So, yep, lots of fun.
Yeah, we had to drive to Columbia, South Carolina to visit my wife's family, and that was nice, but not a fun to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours forwards and backwards. But I did come up with a couple T-shirt designs that I'm gonna put up there pretty soon. So
yes.
So check out our store on TeePublic, by the way, if you haven't already.
There you go. Yeah, let's get that plug in early this time instead of waiting till the very end. We've been just messing around with some things. I mean, no real news to speak of, I don't think, this week. Did you watch the NFL games on Netflix yesterday?
A little bit here and there. I didn't watch the second one. I watched most of the first one, but
I thought it was a pretty good presentation. I thought they did pretty well. I didn't have any buffering or streaming or anything on my, buffering or freezing up or pixelation or anything on my end. It was great.
Yeah, I had no issues when I was watching it. I know that I watched the Tyson Logan Paul fight. Yeah, that was awful.
I had lots of issues with that.
Yeah, but this was very, very well done. Very good streaming. I had no issues, and it's the way of the future that's going to happen. All streaming services are going to start buying up these rights.
Yeah. I was just reading that 65 million people watched on that day. It's 5 times more than the NBA, which historically has owned Christmas. But I mean, for that many people, I thought the stream did really well. So. But, that Houston Texans game, man, like, the bloom is off of C.J. Stroud a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be...
He's still having a pretty good year, and, like, stats-wise, his year's been much better than Bryce's, but I think if you asked the average NFL fan who's been paying attention, I bet... I'm not going to say the majority would rather have Bryce at this point, but I bet it's a lot more 50-50 than, 90-10 Stroud like it was earlier this year or last year.
Exactly. I don't know if it would be 50-50, but shine has rubbed off on CJ Stroud right now. I do think teams have figured him out to a certain point, and now it's time for him to readjust. And that's and every quarterback goes through this. It's hey, they have to learn how to be fluid with the way they play. And then once you get into that veteran status, you do whatever you need to do at that point.
Yeah, and it's not just him; it's the scheme. It's they've had some injuries. Like there's been some things, but I was watching. So QB School did Bryce's breakdown from this past week, and just glowing reviews from everyone about Bryce's performance last week against Arizona. I think the PFF grade was the highest.
It was
among every quarterback. He was over 91, just ridiculous. Which watching the game, I thought he played really well, but I didn't think he was, elite level like that. But apparently so. And then I watched the QB breakdown, and man, like he had one bad pass. It just happened to unfortunately be the one at the very end of regulation where they should have sealed the game. But that was like his only miss of the whole game.
Yeah,
That was just an obvious bad pass.
and he's getting that way. He is getting to the point where I feel comfortable with him. I was shocked that he missed that throw in a game situation, as he seems to be primed for that. But overall, man, if as long as he doesn't go down the next two games like he did the Dallas games, if he doesn't have the Dallas games again, we're sitting very pretty and very happy going into this offseason. At least I will be. I mean, go ahead.
I even think if he has a bad game, and I don't expect him to have another bad game like he had with Dallas. I don't think there's another. He's got another 4 turnover game in him this year. At least I hope not. What a weird game that was. I still don't really quite know what happened that game, but I think he's done enough over the last couple of months here to kind of be the guy next year.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think there's any question.
In my opinion, there should not be a question going into the offseason about getting a new quarterback right now. Now, if they want to draft a third-round guy that they see potential in, I get it. That's fine. But drafting someone with a top 10 pick, no. I think getting a quarterback in here that's a veteran that's going to start, no. But someone a good backup that maybe could push him, okay, I'm fine with that.
Sure. I still think it's most likely scenario is Dalton's back next year, and they just use all their draft picks to shore up the rest of the team, which I think they should. Mm-hmm. But again, Canales didn't draft Bryce, so it's who knows what he may see somebody out there that he really likes. But anyway, yeah, I mean, just kind of putting a bow on last week. What a great game to kind of go into Christmas break with. Mm-hmm. That win, and now they've got a chance, if they can sweep these last two to get to that 6-win plateau that we thought they might hit, this year, and just really have a ton of momentum going into next season, which I think they already have.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
And the way they're playing, I mean, honestly, I was looking at the schedule. I was like, besides that Tampa Bay game, when was a game that the Panthers just weren't in it? I don't know.
The Dallas game. Yeah.
But, I mean, besides that Dallas game, I mean, they were close with Kansas City. They were close with, Tampa Bay. They were close.
Yeah. It's been since, before Bryce came back.
Yeah.
It was, but those last couple of Dalton games, I think. But, yeah, and also, just one more quick thing about the QB school guy. That's JT O'Sullivan, and you guys should check him out on YouTube if you haven't. He's really, really good at breaking down quarterback play, and he even hits on some wide receiver stuff here and there, and some running back stuff here and there. But
he hates Thielen.
He hates Adam Thielen. Yeah, he thinks he's. I don't think he hates him, but I think he thinks he's slow, and he should not be kind of the number one guy here, which he tends to be from time to time. But he was talking about some of the play calls and some of the schemes that Canales was running, and just he seemed to be really impressed by the creativity of some of the wide receiver lineup bunches and things like that they're doing, and some of the routes that they're running. He seems to think that they're pretty creative, and Canales is only going to get better. I think. Again, this is first year as a head coach. Is only his second year calling plays. I think he's gonna. I really think next year could be pretty fun. Pretty fun season.
I do too, and I agree with that. One thing I've been very excited with this season is once he started trusting Bryce, I could see receivers being wide open. That has to be scheme, not just a wide receiver being good. I mean, yes, sometimes it is with a great route, but for the most part, I feel like this is just Canales has really shown me how bad things were last year and the year before with Matt Rule. Let's be honest, Matt Rule, no one was open ever.
And last year too. I mean, we said it over and over and over again last year. That the yards, open yards or whatever that stat was that they showed last year, the Panthers were always at the very bottom. Mm-hmm. Nobody was getting more than like a yard separation at any given time. So it really has been, a revelation. And Bryce is obviously showing that he can get it done. That the offensive line that might be the biggest change for Bryce is just how much time he has back there and how much confidence it's giving him, knowing that not every time that he backs up is he going to be somebody in his face in less than 2 seconds, right? So that's got to be big. But yeah, I mean, just things are looking up around here. The energy is different from the fan base, from the reporters, certainly from the team, the sidelines, the way that people are talking, national media, the way they're talking about the Panthers. Just things are, oh man, it's just so nice.
Yes.
It's almost a relief, right? To be able to talk about this team in a positive way.
It really is. It's nice not having to avoid NFL news. Even when we lost, it feels nice not having to avoid it. So we are live here. Jay and Dumb and Dumberer wished us Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Dumb and Dumber, we'll get into your predictions later on. I'm not going to read it yet. Because
hey, and Dumb and Dumber, this dude's always commenting. Like, thank you for always being part of this.
Yes.
I think your comments are really insightful, and yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah, we
and Jay as well, of course.
Yeah.
Jay's the man.
But speaking of Christmas, we meant to do this before Christmas, but again, three little ones between us. Sometimes things happen and we don't get to it. And wives.
Right.
My wife would not let me. I'm surprised she hasn't busted in here yet. But anyways, we're going to give out some Christmas gifts to Panthers players, coaches, and everybody else, like we like to do every year.
I don't know if we did it last year. We may have been too depressed.
Probably.
But it's nice to bring it back. It's nice to bring it back this year. I have 6, technically 5. One's a twofer.
I'm just winging it, buddy. This is the one time I think I didn't prepare as much as I should have. But I have a lot.
Okay. Well, I'll kick it off then.
Okay.
I'm going to kick off my twofer. Okay. This is a gift for Bryce Young and Dave Canales. It's a combination gift. I'm saving a little money here. I'm getting them a combo gift. Now, listen. I know in my heart and I know in my head. I know in my head that in this draft, we need a defensive player. Like, we need an edge rusher. We need a linebacker, maybe even a corner. Like, we need defensive players. But for my gift for Dave Canales and Bryce Young, I'm giving them Teteroa McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona, as their first-round pick. This guy is awesome. He had a 300-yard game. He had a 200-yard game this year. He's got, I think he's like 6'5", 220, something like that. Like, he's just massive. He's fast. Got great hands. He is a legit wide receiver 1, something that we do not have on this team right now. I love Jalen Coker. I think he's got a ton of, potential. He doesn't have the size, speed combination of this guy. And adding someone with this skill set to this team, I think takes Bryce to the next level, to where Pro Bowls and All Pros and playoffs are a regular thing for this team, for him.
I believe this guy, he has the body and the skill set to kind of remind me of a Calvin Johnson. Not saying he will ever be that guy, but yes, I agree. If what I've seen of him, I haven't really deep dived into him. If we picked him, that would be you're right, a Christmas present to Bryce. Yeah.
And he's, T-Mac. That's his nickname. It's T-Mac. So we get rid of C-Mac. We bring in T-Mac. We still got the Mac. And T-Mac, I like T-Mac.
All right.
That's my gift.
All right. My next one's going to be a pretty obvious one. Xavier Legette. We're talking about wide receivers. I am getting him a brand new jugs machine for all his drops. I believe he would work on his drops. I don't think he's going to just let it pass. And on top of that jugs machine, I'm going to throw some some nice barbecue sauce on him for him, because raccoon has to not taste that good. At least smother it in some barbecue sauce or something. He brought it into the locker room today and was handing it out.
Raccoon?
Yeah. You didn't see that?
Oh my gosh. No, I have not seen
Yeah,
that.
supposedly that's what he was excited for Christmas dinner, was raccoon. His buddy.
This guy eats raccoon all the time. It's like
Yeah, he was talking about how his buddy hit a raccoon, and they were gonna fry it up for Thanksgiving dinner.
Roadkill.
Or caught. He may have said caught or hit.
Man.
I don't remember. So, but yes, raccoon.
Okay, I think I'm with you. I think we can stop with the. I think he needs to dial it back a little bit. This is too much. Okay, well, I like that's a good gift. Certainly, he will use it. Should use it. I think he will. He's going to be better next year. I truly believe. All right, so I'm going with another wide receiver, Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen has certainly outperformed our expectations of what he was going to be coming in here. I was pretty high on him. Did not think he was going to be a 1,000-yard receiver his first year. He's been a little banged up this year, but as soon as he came back, he was just right there again. He's Bryce's safety blanket. I think he's really important to this team. I am gifting Adam Thielen a 2-year contract extension. So he's already here for next year. So I'm giving him his year 37 and 38-year-old 2-year contract extension for him. Not going to be as much money, okay? I don't know. I'm not going to say a number, but I think you kind of extend his cap hit next year out a little bit as well into that, so that kind of all fits. Man, lowers his cap a little bit next year.
And you've been not all out, but expecting him to be gone.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Okay. No. I agree with you to a certain extent.
I'm someone that likes to change my mind when I'm presented with new information.
I agree. I think he deserves to be here for the remainder of his career to a certain extent. And I'd be happy with that as long as it wasn't stupid money. And again, I said if he decided to retire in the offseason, Canales should run out to him and be like, I've got a spot for you on this coaching staff. Because what you've been able to do with Bryce, and you could even see the younger guys getting better as a season too. So, yeah, I want him around this team.
Yeah, I think he's really important. And I hope that he wants to be here. I think that the way Bryce has played as of late is giving everybody a lot more confidence in this team. So I hope he wants to be here. But give me another couple more years of Adam Thielen, and I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go over to Ike Ekwonu. I am going to go to Ike Ekwonu. I am giving him a contract extension. Now, the main reason is because before this offseason, everybody was kind of writing him off, talking about, hey, he's not good. Well, look what happens. He has been very consistent, very good on that left side. Let's go ahead and continue to work this way, because you're going to have Damian Lewis for 3-4 years. If you have Icky, that solidifies that left side for a long time. And I think that he's earned it. He's shown that he was really probably not the issue. It was more everything else dysfunctional with this franchise at that time.
Yeah, I mean, he has certainly been a lot better. I wouldn't say he's like elite at that position, at this point, but he's still very young, and I think he still has room to grow. Certainly with the additions to the offensive line, he's been better.
Yeah.
Robert Hunt, I was just reading today, Robert Hunt has not had a single penalty this year. He's played every single snap.
You read the wrong thing. He had a holding penalty last game.
I must have read an article that was posted before the last game.
It was a misprint. I saw the same article.
Okay. Well, still, you know what? That's my present for Robert Hunt. Is I'm just going to give him that as a truth. Okay.
I mean, honestly, the whole offensive line needs to be praised. I don't know what we can do. We should, for our Christmas present to the whole offensive line. We need to come up with a good nickname for them. We came up with Carolina Reaper. Let's get something for the, you know.
Yeah. Like we'll have to think about that. I want to come up with something here after I've had a gummy and say something stupid.
Drinking my syrup.
Yep. So for Jatavion Sanders.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give him some targets next week. Like, let's give him some. Let's get this guy back in the game. I mean, I don't want to keep bringing up JT O'Sullivan's podcast or film breakdown here, but he kind of was bringing it up the same thing. It's like, he really loves JT O'Sullivan. He thinks he's a football player. Like, he really likes
JT Sanders, not O'Sullivan.
JT O'Sullivan really likes JT Sanders.
Yeah, you said JT O'Sullivan really likes JT O'Sullivan.
Well, he probably does, but but he really likes JT Sanders as well. And just, he pointed out several times that Sanders probably was the guy that Bryce should have went to. So I want Bryce to kind of regain that confidence in JT and get him the ball a little more. He's had 2 targets over the past 3 weeks since he's come back. I really want to see more. He's got so much potential, and he's a weapon. I'd really like to start using him more.
Yeah, I agree. He's a mismatch to most defenders. That's just what it is. I'm going to go to the old one, J.C. Horn. I'm giving you a hyperbolic chamber again. I think I gave it to you a couple years ago. I'm gonna give you a new one because obviously the one I gave you a couple years ago didn't work. You're on the injury report again. This is a bit of better season, but you still have had like 2 or 3 nagging injuries that you're always on the report.
Yeah, I was thinking of like an ice bath or a spa day, or like what could I give J.C. Horn? Because honestly, he's played every game.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
Yeah, he's played every game. He's been a bit banged up, certainly in the second half of the season here. But, firm round of applause to him for figuring it out, taking care of his body this year. I don't know if he's stretching more. I don't know what the change was, but he's been out there. He's been really good. He hasn't been, I don't think, top 2 corner in the NFL, which is what we hope he's going to be. But he has, if you look at the stats, he just has not given up a ton of yards to the top receivers that they play every week.
No, I mean, he's honestly an elite. When he's out there, he's locking guys down. Yeah. I mean,
I would consider giving him the gift of a new defensive coordinator as well, one that will let him travel with the number 1 wide receiver. It seems like he wants to, and that's just not part of Evero's scheme. So I think that again, I think Evero, he's kind of, my patience has kind of run out with him, I think, a little bit, just seeing again and again and again what we've gone through this season. I don't know. What are you thinking about him? Like, before we finish this off, but what do you think about Evero?
There's some issues. I mean, this defense is going to end up giving up the most rushing yards per game of all time, probably by like 20 yards. Yeah. And that, I know there's a lot of lack of talent on that side, but look, we're getting players back, and the pass rush is starting to get there, but the run defense is still. Honestly, if I was an offensive coordinator, I would run the ball 80% of the time. I would do a couple play actions, hit them deep a couple times, just to try to keep them honest. But I mean,
yeah, I mean that's why that is one of the main reasons, outside of the offensive struggles early on, that we've been losing games. We cannot stop the run, and when you can't stop the run, you can't get teams off the field.
Bryce has had like 5 game tying or winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime, basically. And we haven't won them because the defense gives up 60 yards of offense in less than 2 minutes, in less than a minute. Now, yes, there's that Patrick Mahomes where it's Patrick Mahomes, but, I mean, Tampa Bay did it. I think New York did it, didn't they? They tied it. I mean,
I think so, yeah. Yeah, they did.
So
last week, Kyler Murray and that field goal, 58-yard field goal. Yeah, it's happened several times. You know, but again, someone had asked in, I don't know if it was Reddit or what. I think it was on Reddit about what should the Panthers' record have been this year had Bryce played every game the way he has played the last 5 weeks or so. And most people were saying like 7 wins, 6 wins, something like that. Well, we should have 6 wins right now.
Yeah.
But for 2 plays, a fumble, a very uncharacteristic fumble by Chuba, and Leggett not being able to catch the ball. But for 2 things, we would have 6 wins right now with this team, with a chance to have like 8 wins by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And if you count that Chiefs game, which I don't really count, like I think that was an earned loss. The Chiefs were just a little better.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Early in the season, like there's winnable games there. If Bryce was playing this level. I just think next year is the sky's limit. All right, I got two more gifts.
Okay.
My first one is going to be to David Tepper. I'm giving David Tepper a second chance. All right, I was done with David Tepper. After last year, like it was, what a fiasco last year really was. I don't think we remember just how bad it got.
It was really bad.
Thank goodness we don't remember just how bad it got, because it got so bad. But this year, with, I would say, an inspired head coaching choice. Now, was it a guy like Canales who is desperate for an opportunity, was the only one willing to work for him? Maybe. But that plus, having the faith in Dan Morgan, that has turned out to be a really good choice. Sticking with Bryce, giving Dave Canales the the freedom, I guess, to bench Bryce 2 games into the season, knowing that you're going to be a laughing stock, knowing that every single sports reporter is going to be talking crap about you. Everybody on TV is going to say, what a terrible owner, what a terrible decision. You should have made that trade. This year, he's stepped back, it seems, right? Everything we've heard, like he's stepped back. We haven't seen him. We haven't heard from him. He hasn't gone into restaurants and knocked hats off of people. He hasn't shown up, throwing drinks on people. Like, he's been quiet. He's stayed back. And guess what? Things are positive right now. Things are looking up. He gets a second chance from me.
I find it very funny you say that, because what I was going to give David Tepper was some legal CBD that'll make you a little funny and relax a little bit, because I like this. I like him staying back, and I don't want anything to go wrong for him to freak out and go do something stupid, because this team is on the right track. And I think Dan Morgan and Canales have a good idea of what they want to do. The vision's there. I see how they're building it, and it's starting to show. That team is believing in Canales right now. You see them fighting every game. You see them so excited for that win last week. You see it. That is that's serious. But
again, it's a culture change. He is building a culture here. He is a culture guy, and luckily he also seems to be an X's and O's guy. He has an understanding of defense. Now, doesn't seem to be translating in terms of run defense. But, the pass rush has gotten better, and the corners have been pretty good all season.
Yeah.
So, again, like, I feel like from where we were last year, I felt so far, like we're so far away. We're so far away. We need 15 different players on this team. We need the new coach. We need a perfect coach. We need a perfect everything. Now, I really feel like with a good off season, a good draft, and a good free agency, like we are a playoff contending team.
Yes.
Next year. That's a year ahead of my original timeline for this team. But they played so inspired. It feels like it.
And Bryce has really shown up. Let's just be honest. Bryce has shown up. He's looked great. nothing else I can say besides it's night and day from week 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have another?
I do not. I was gonna.
Okay. My last one.
I'll actually give one last one after you to the whole team.
Okay. Okay. This is my last one. I give a version of this gift every year. Okay. Ian Thomas. My guy.
I know who's getting this. What he's getting.
My guy. Ian Thomas. First of all, I feel a little bad for how mean I've been to Ian Thomas. This is not Ian Thomas the person, okay? This is Ian Thomas the football player. All right. Ian Thomas, in the past, I've given you luggage. I've given you plane tickets. This year, you're not getting either of those things. Because you haven't even been good enough for that. This year, I'm giving you a bus pass to the Great North. To the Great North, where you can try to rejuvenate your career with the CFL. Merry Christmas, Ian Thomas.
Oh man. Oh, that has me almost tearing up in laughter. My last gift will be to the whole team. I'm going to give the whole team a grass field so they can save their ankles and knees. God, get rid of the turf.
Oh, that's a great gift. That's a great gift. I wish I had thought of that. I'm jealous of that one. That's great.
Real quickly, we're going to go over some quick comments, and then we are going to take a break. I'm going to insert ads. Hopefully it works live on YouTube. If not, you'll see me sitting
Jerry.
here staring.
Greedy Jerry.
Well, it's
Greedy
so
Jerry.
you
well,
can
we
call
need
me
the
back.
time to stop. Yeah. Well.
Jay said we need presence like Thielen in the building, and he completely agreed with us. He also said, what's the earliest we should address the O-line depth in the draft this year? Feeling better, but could never have enough. Weird spot, to be honest. So
I thought about that as well. I've been thinking about that too. And I do think that they should maybe not early in the draft. I would say like third round would maybe be the earliest I would want to draft an offensive lineman. But I do think they should go in the free agency and shore up that depth.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got Taylor Moton over there on the right tackle. I mean, how much longer does he plan on playing too? Like, that's a serious question. Then
what is he? How old is he? Is he 30?
I don't know. You can look it up while I'm also discussing the other guys. We still don't know if Cade Mays is going to be the real deal at center or if they're going to need something else.
I was thinking center.
And then you also have to look at injuries. Just overall, how many injuries have already affected this? Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis have been really good, but like they've also been on the injury report.
Yeah. Yeah, this offensive line, as good as it's been, is definitely not a finished product. Taylor Moton's last contract year is next year, and he'll be 31. So I feel like he does have another extension in him. Offensive linemen can play a little longer, right? He could certainly have another 5 years in him at playing at a pretty high level. That's something they're going to have to get done this offseason.
Yeah, they should.
For him.
I mean, if that's what I think they should do, and that's the route they want to do, that's it. Orwin jumped in real quick saying, haha, Ian, that was brutal. Honestly forgot he was still on the team.
Nice.
I mean, it's true. I kind of did too.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget.
And then he followed up with our discussion, would you take a flyer on a falling center with our second-round pick? I mean,
a second-round pick? I think because it would be – whose second-round pick would it be? Is it the Rams' second-round pick
something
that we're
like
going to have? So, yeah, I think late in the second.
I agree.
Sure.
It depends on where we're drafting, but if we drafted a later second-round pick for even mid-pick, if it was a guy who was maybe – late first, early second, and he's there, and he marks all your categories you want, solidify in front of Bryce, because we know what happens if there's no O-line. The quarterbacks just get scared.
But, shout out to Cade Mays. He's played really well this year.
Oh, 100%.
And Christensen, too, when he's had to play.
So
I think those guys have been really good. Solid.
Yeah, and Christensen will probably be gone after this year.
And remember, Austin Corbett was our starting center to start the season.
Yeah.
right? And they haven't missed a beat. They might even have been better without him.
I think the continuity has gotten them where they're at better, but
Yeah.
I think overall he was a better player, though. If that.
Yeah.
But.
Corbett,
Yeah.
are you sure? Yeah, you were very questionable about him.
I was
coming into the
questionable
season.
about him moving to center from guard, but
Yeah.
he looked good. The
did
first
look
few games he looked good, so I was marking
did.
it that they knew what they were talking about.
I think you're right. What's his contract situation?
This is his last year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, he's on the roster next year.
Oh, good.
2020. No. You're right. Sorry, 2024. This is last season. Yep.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a short break while Steven calls me back because we don't pay for Zoom. We'll be right back.
All right. This gummy's hitting me hard.
I could tell. You're very chatty.
Man. Apologies.
No, you're fine. I guess
Are we back?
I don't know.
Can you guys see us?
I don't know.
the
Let's just
chat?
start talking, and
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Apologies to the YouTube or to the podcast.
I mean, we can
All
edit
right,
it
well,
out, but whatever.
Yeah, true.
Watch the sausage be made, Sonny.
Oh yeah. Don't make a comment. Don't make a comment about sausage. Okay. Gambling for the kids.
Gambling for the children. Yeah.
All right. While Jerry looks up the odds, unless he already has them, I'll just quickly recap what this segment is all about. We decided to add a little gambling segment in this year because North Carolina legalized sports gambling. And instead of being greedy and keeping all the proceeds for ourselves, we're going to donate all of our winnings to St. Jude's Children's Hospital at the end of the season, which is just a couple of weeks away.
I know. Right now, we're sitting at $126.40 in the account. Start off with 25.
Yes.
So
We need a win this week.
yes, we do.
We need a win this week.
Right now, we're playing Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. Carolina is an 8-point dog.
That feels like a lot.
I was thinking the same thing.
This was a very close game last time, and I don't see any major difference. This is just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was an overtime game that we should have won with Chuba Hubbard's fumble. It's 26-23. I mean, Buccaneers are playing for the division still, but I mean...
They are. They have more to play for than we do, but honestly, I don't feel like they're going to play any harder than we are.
No.
I think the Panthers have a lot to play for.
Yeah, I mean, they were 3-9 when the Panthers were 3-9 when they took them to overtime. So, I mean, they were already out of it.
That's right. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I kind of feel good about the Panthers taking the points with the Panthers there.
Okay. We may try some save day parlay here.
Yeah. What's the over under?
48.5. I'm not a big.
That's high.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not the biggest fan of that.
That's high. I can see it. I mean, again, last game went over. It was 49 last game, right? So I could see that again, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but it's right.
But I don't feel strong enough about it to bet on it.
No, the 8 points I like. The 48 I don't like.
Yeah.
Another one I like is Bryce Young's passing yards. 225 is plus 100. He threw for almost 300 yards last game. Tampa Bay is give me the the stats here. Passing yards.
Last game against Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, 296 or something like that, and Tampa Bay gives up the second most passing yards per game. They give up 250 yards per game.
Okay. Since Bryce has been back, 126, 263, 298, 191, 219, 158. So he's only gone over that twice. One of those was against Tampa.
And they have a horrible pass defense. And I think that we're going to have to pass the ball again.
Yeah, and that was just since Bryce has come back. He did have a 200. I'm sorry, he had a 224. So he's gone over it 3 times. Okay, I see that. I can see that.
So I really like that.
Yeah.
You can always look at the running for Chuba and whoever we're playing. Bucky Irving's, 110 plus is plus 240. Honestly, I would bang that every day. He's going to destroy this.
But he's a bit of a timeshare there, right? With Rachaad White?
Kind of, but why would you?
He hasn't.
Rachaad White had 11 rushes last week to his 25. Or last time we played them.
Yeah, but that's the only time he's ever gone over 16 carries. But would they just try to replicate that since they had such success with it?
Yeah, they really weren't running the ball nearly as much as they should have in the first half of that game, if I remember correctly.
What's like his 80 plus yards?
80 plus yards is negative 120.
Okay. And then it goes up to 220?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it just moved 240 at 110 plus.
240?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that for maybe a side single bet.
Okay.
Put 5 or 7 or something on that.
And then we have the Chuba. 70 yards is negative 145. 80 is plus 105. My biggest fear with this game is Canales doing what he did the first time we played Tampa Bay. They do have a good run defense, and he went away from him very quick. He had 11 rushes. I'm almost nervous to go with Chuba on to this game just because the way Canales likes to call games against good run
What's
defense.
the 60-yard odds for him?
Negative 230.
Yeah, that's way too.
That's too risky in my head.
Yeah. Well, last game he had 43 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. There was like a 2-quarter stretch there where it felt like they rushed twice.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Hopefully he does a game similar to last week where we kind of ride Chuba and then Bryce gets to pick when he gets a good I can't speak. Option.
Yeah. I don't. But like you, I don't feel confident. Well, give me Adam Thielen receptions.
Yeah. Oren says covering almost feels like a gimme. I'm covering this.
Yeah. I agree. We really like the covering. Yeah, I want Adam Thielen receptions. If it's like 4.5.
Receptions. I don't know if I have that or just the yards. Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay.
He's not on here.
Okay.
It just it has Mike Evans at over under 5.5, Chuba 3.5, Jalen McMillan.
Is that all they have for the Panthers? They don't have any other Panthers?
No other Panthers.
They just have Chuba. Okay, they must be. They'll have that on there. Okay, well I don't really like Chuba receiving. Maybe we just go straight up. We just do a straight up like a $10 bet on the under, or the Panthers covering, and then maybe 5 on Chuba going over, or on Bucky Irving going over 110.
Yeah, and I hate going against the Panthers, but we've discussed it already. This is just stupid.
We're not going against the Panthers. This is just their run defense is terrible. They could still win this game.
Yeah,
they should have won last time, and Bucky Irving had that. So yeah, this isn't. This is just us understanding that the Panthers' run defense is terrible.
Yep. All right, I got that written down. Unfortunately, if I sit in DraftKings too long, it kicks me out of. It kicks me out.
We don't have to actually place the bet live. We could just, we're fine. But yeah, Gosh, what was I going to say? I don't remember.
I don't either, because I can't read your mind.
All right, let's move on. I can't remember what it was. It completely left my mind. All right.
I mean,
well, how are we feeling?
This game has me worried. Not because we played them so well that I'm afraid that if we get kind of smacked around a little bit, that it'll be kind of a downer to how well we played recently. I mean, yeah, Tampa Bay's a good team.
They're strong. Yeah, they're 8-7. They just lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
but as did we. As did we. The Cowboys have been playing a lot better as of late. I mean, I mentioned that before our game. Like they have been playing better, but I think that they might actually keep McCarthy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, but he's on his last. Like they'd have to give him a contract extension, but I think they will.
Yeah,
I think they will.
Now,
but yeah, anyway,
Tampa Bay.
So before, yeah, go ahead.
Tampa Bay is averaging 28.5 points per game, top 5 in the league. I mean, we've seen it here. If they run the ball on us, we're in trouble. I mean, anybody runs on us, this team is in trouble because they can't stop it.
Yeah, and that success in the run is going to set them up for Baker, who is playing amazing this year.
Yeah,
Baker has been incredible this year.
Yeah, he really has. Let's see if I can pull up his stats.
It's not like he's got 34 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. He throws some interceptions, but he's almost 4,000 yards. Like he's been great. So you try and if you try and stop the run by bringing more pressure or something, they could beat you through the air very easily. So they're a good team, but their defense can be scored on, as we saw. Like we were able to put up 23 points on them.
They're solid against the run, but they can't stop the pass.
Yeah.
So I mean,
which is why,
it's similar to the way the Panthers are. We can stop the pass pretty well. We can't stop the run for anything.
Yeah. I forgot about that Bryce Young bet too. Maybe we parlay the no, never mind.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Quick comments from Final Boss here. If we could have pulled out those 3 games with KC, Tampa Bay, Eagles, we would be in the driver's seat for our division with the Bucs and Falcons left on our schedule.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it was so close too. Gives him good hope that we can take this division next year. Yeah. With an arguable draft of free agency. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then he agreed that Bucky killed us last time, and he expects him to do it again. So,
yeah. Unfortunately, yep. Yeah, but I mean, in terms of from the Panthers, I really just want to see another good, efficient game from Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. No turnovers. No turnovers for the Panthers in this game gives us a chance to win because Tampa will turn the ball over.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I truly believe that Baker will throw at least 1 interception in this game, and I could see, some other turnover down, some other kind of turnover as well. But I think the Panthers, if you don't turn the ball over and you win the turnover battle by 1 or 2, you're right there. You're right there at the end.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up Baker's pressures, how he performs, like where his interceptions are actually taking place. Yeah. So if you want to kill some time for a second.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of, Coker, I'd like to see get a little more involved. I feel like they kind of went away from him last week. He definitely has that, that ability to be the number 1 on this team right now. He certainly seems to be the most dependable outside of Adam Thielen. And then Jatavion Sanders. Like, let me see 5 targets for my guy this week. I really want to see him flourish and finish the season strong. He had such a nice stretch there in the middle of the season before he got hurt, and I don't want that to kind of be his defining moment of the season.
Yeah. Looking at Baker Mayfield on his interceptions here, it's kind of funny. Under pressure, he's thrown 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. So obviously, that's always the worst scenario. But it's pretty funny when he is not blitzed and kept clean. He has 12 interceptions.
Well, we know he makes mistakes. Like, that's been the one knock on him his whole career, is he's pretty loose with the football. And he gets him a lot of wins, but it also gets him a lot of losses, in terms of interceptions to touchdowns. So, I do think that our defense has been fairly opportunistic this season, of late especially. The secondary has played really well. And if they want to try to maybe go after, they want to get Mike Evans his 1,000 yards. He needs, had it pulled up here, I think like 140-something yards over the next 2 games to get there. And they want to get him that because, he's had that stretch. They don't want him to break the streak. So I could definitely see the defensive backs having some opportunities.
Yeah, and you're right there. That's something I didn't think about. The only counterpoint to that is how much do they want to do that if they get the win? They're in the division title race. So,
well, they've talked about it. I mean, they publicly talked about it. Like they know it is a thing and they want to get it for him.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, obviously, the number one priority is gonna be winning, right? They're not gonna go out of their way to lose the game to still get Mike Evans his yardage. But either way, like there's opportunity there for the Panthers.
I mean, I think there's opportunity for this game again. Like, we took them down to the wire. Bryce Young has to play well.
Yeah.
I want more from Chuba Hubbard this time. I'm not talking about the fumble that happens. You're a running back, so it just happens. But I'm just saying I want more out of him. He only averaged 3.5 last time, but he only had 11 carries. So I think Brooks had right around like 5 felt correct.
Something like that, yeah. So this is only the second time this season that Bryce has played a team for the second time, right? So the first time was the Saints, 47-10 the first game, 23-22 win the second game. So Bryce, maybe he sees the team the first time, gains a bunch of knowledge about him. Maybe he comes out and he plays really well in this game. Canales as well. Canales learning from that first game. This is a great opportunity for the first-time head coach, right? Seeing a team the second time, especially going to their place for the second game. How does he react? How does the team come out? What's the game plan? This is going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. 100%. I'm just so happy that we're talking like competitive games instead of just yes, our run defense is still not competitive, but the rest of the team is.
yeah.
There's hope.
Yeah, it's great. It's so nice.
Final Boss did talk about if we wanted to see Sanders do something this week. He has been quiet since he got hurt. We discussed that a little bit earlier, but yeah, JT Sanders would love to get some targets. Steven gifted him targets in our Christmas gift exchange.
This has been a JT Sanders full podcast. For sure.
Yeah, we love that guy. I hope he really steps up. Or not steps up, gets some targets, because I think he steps up.
He gets an opportunity again. Yeah, I want him to reestablish that chemistry he was building.
Yeah, and Legette's, I think, going to be out, too. We did not touch on the...
I think so. He was out last week or got hurt.
Real quick, he's a limited practice, so, yeah.
Okay.
And he was a full practice last week, so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still up in the air.
Oh, yeah, obviously, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, sure, I'd love to see him show some improvement, Poor guy. Feel bad for him. I mean, maybe he's eating too much raccoon.
Maybe. Maybe it has rabies in it. I don't know.
Well, I don't think so, but you'd be having other problems at that point. All right. Well, do we want to do predictions?
Yeah, let's go with predictions. Before I start, I'm going to read Dumb and Dumber's prediction that he posted at first.
Yeah.
Bold early prediction for the 2025. Bryce Young leads the top 10 offense, but still struggling defense, 9-8 record as they narrowly lose the division to the 10-7 Bucks. Okay.
That's it.
That was the wrong predictions. I assumed it was for the game, so I didn't want to read it because I didn't want to influence my prediction. Yeah. But that's for next year. My bad, Dumber.
Oh, okay.
I was dumber.
So I could have caught that for him, but I do not have the chat pulled up. So, okay. Well, hey, you know what? I think I'd be disappointed by that.
Yeah.
In terms of record, I think I'd be disappointed by that. But yeah. Okay. Bold prediction.
My bold prediction is Bryce Young throws for 350 yards this game.
Whew. That's not good news for our bet. That's not good news for our bet. My bold prediction is that the defense will hold Bucky Irving to under 100 yards in this game.
Well, that's not good for our bet either. That's rude.
All right. So, do we want to change that bet?
No. I like it. Okay. I honestly, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll say my game right now. My prediction: Panthers win this 30-23 on the arm of Bryce Young. I think I think we jump out early and they don't run the ball as much as they should, and they kind of get themselves in a hole, and they have to try to claw their way back. So.
Yeah, I like that. I'm feeling a high score as well. I say the Panthers win this game 31-28 on a 49-yard Eddie Pinheiro field
goal. Final Boss says if Irving is held under 100 yards, it's a good chance we win. I agree.
Yeah.
And Michael writes, who cares about Bucky as long as Chuba doesn't fumble. So
would have made a big difference last time.
Yeah, again, I mean, he's been so solid this year at one fumble.
I know. I hate that it cost us the game. For him. Like, I know that sucks for him, but that doesn't make me feel any differently about him.
No, me neither. I feel bad for him just because he's put this team on his back for the most part of this year. Definitely the first part.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Any last thoughts before we sign off?
Just really excited to be excited about Panthers football again.
Yeah. Check out our store on TeePublic. It'll be in the notes and stuff like that. And we want to thank everyone for joining our live feed here. JG, Dumb and Dumber, Oren, Final Boss, Michael. Yeah, I almost said Final Boss again because he jumped back in there. But we do really appreciate it. It's fun.
Yeah. We'll try to announce these maybe on Twitter when we're going to do them.
Yeah.
Just to give everybody a heads up.
I did do it like 10, 15 minutes before because we didn't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're not too good about that. We need to really be more.
It's hectic,
more
man.
Thoughtful.
We're so hectic. We live hectic lives.
I didn't even know we were going live today, so I didn't know until about 5 minutes before.
I didn't know we were going live till about 30 minutes, and I was like, "Yeah, we're doing this." Not gonna lie, my wife kind of irritated me, so I just wanted to shut the door and say I was going live.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Talk football and just let the mind meld.
Yeah, I mean, we almost went an hour.
Yeah. All right, guys. Sorry. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter @MeowMixPodcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on our show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and check out our store at TeePublic.
Ooh, you're getting good at that.
Thank you.
At your game show voice.
All right, until game show.
Well, we'll plan on being back on Sunday, unless something catastrophic happens.
Yeah.
So if we're not, then I'm sorry, but we will plan on being back, and maybe we'll do it live. So maybe think about checking out us live after the show or after the game. All right. And until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.